Hey everybody, Miss Lottie Da here, and I did not get to upload yesterday because I woke up in the morning and I had no water. So, I noticed that there was a construction crew in the field that's next to our unit, because we live in townhouses and they're like side by side. So I figured, okay, they're on it. Well, I heard a couple of the guys start shouting, and then all of a sudden the electricity went off. So then I have no electricity now. So, which means I have no heat. So I was trying to deal with that. I had a handful of soap when it happened, so I had to run and get some out into the hallway where I have my water bottle stash and use bottled water to rinse my hands. In the meantime, my dog was going nuts because of the loud sound of the trucks, their air brakes, and things like that. She just was going nuts, and the cat was going nuts, and it was just chaos in here until they had gotten everything fixed, which wasn't until afternoon. And by that time, I was worn out. So I did not upload yesterday. So today I'm going to upload day 27 and day 28, and hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes okay and I can get back on the 9 a.m. schedule like I was on. Okay, so let's get into it. Day 27 is your season of money. Be careful that you do not forget the Lord, your God. When I tell my children to be careful, it's always because they're about to do something dangerous. I think of that when I read, I can't, big word, I don't know. Be careful, it says. The book says that many times, actually. It's a record of Moses' final words to the Israelites before they entered the Promised Land. And Moses was reminding them where they came from, where they were going, and who got them there. It's interesting to think of money through the lens of whatever. In my own life, I find it easy to forget God when it comes to my finances. I tend to think of my bank account as this practical part of life that I manage on my own. I've had seasons where my account was overdrawn more times than I can count, and I've had seasons where we had more than enough. In any season we've been through or will go through, it reminds us to be careful to not forget the Lord our God. So when you're scared and struggling to get by, don't forget the Lord your God. He knows and cares about you and every practical need you have. Like we talked about on day 5, God is all powerful. He's able to provide for you in practical, tangible ways that would blow your mind if you were willing to bring your request to Him and trust Him. He still isn't that genie in a bottle always giving you exactly what you want. And it's still important for you to be smart with your money. But don't think for a minute that God can't rescue you, even in practical ways like providing for a bill that's due. Matthew 7:11 reminds us, if you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask Him? Don't forget that God knows, He cares, and He can. When you're in a season of struggling financially, be careful that you don't forget the Lord your God. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:19. And then when you're in a season of abundance and have more than you hoped for and are living in the fulfillment of answered prayers, be careful not to forget the Lord your God. Be careful that you do not forget the Lord your God, failing to observe His commands, His laws, and His decrees. Otherwise, when you eat and are satisfied, when you build fine homes and settle down, and when your herds and flocks grow large, and your silver and gold increase, and all you have is multiplied, then your heart will become proud, and you will forget the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt and out of the land of slavery. You may say to yourself, my power and the strength of my hands have produced this wealth for me. But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth. I've been there too, thinking that whatever I have is something I alone produced. But in either situation, seasons of abundance or seasons of struggle, God is reminding us to remember Him. He's the first one you should run to when you're in need, and the first one you should praise when you have plenty. As Psalm 24:1 reminds us, it all belongs to Him anyway. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. Whatever season you might be in with money, be careful that you do not forget the Lord, your God. Reflection and prayer. What season are you in financially right now? What do you sense God is teaching you through the words? Be careful that you do not forget the Lord your God. Spend some time in prayer today, asking God to show you how you can trust and honor Him with your finances. Ask Him for opportunities to be faithful, grateful, and generous with your money, regardless of the season you're in. Okay, that was day 27. And so now we are going to move on to day 28, which is your season of priorities. Come, follow me, Jesus said, Matthew 4:19. I need help staying motivated to reach my business goals. Her question appeared on my computer screen, and I began to read it out loud to the group. This was during a live video coaching session, and I was answering questions from our Business Boutique Academy members, which I'm going to stop right there real quick to mention that I too have been a member of the Business Boutique Academy because I have my own online business, and I learned so much from it, and I highly recommend you take it. If you are self-employed and you are female, because she only coaches 2 females at this time, um, I definitely, and if you have the money, it's pretty costly, but if you've got the funds and you're interested in growing your business, definitely get online and go to christywright.com, and you can see what all benefits you get from the Business Boutique Academy. And let me tell you, I do not regret spending the money that I spent on it when I did do it a couple years ago. It was so worth it to me. Okay, I'm going to continue now. During these sessions, the questions pour in on the screen. I read them out loud to the group quickly and answered them as efficiently as possible to get through as many as I can. I kept reading. I'm having trouble reaching my goals and staying focused. I'm falling short and so frustrated with myself. And then I read the line that stopped me in my tracks. I've just been diagnosed with cancer and I need help getting back on track with my business goals. I stopped reading. I stopped speaking. My throat tightened and my eyes began to burn. Cancer. This woman had just been diagnosed with cancer, and she was asking how to reach her business goals. I was live and the clock was ticking. I started to speak, but the words wouldn't come out. I waited a few seconds and tried again. I'm so sorry, I said while fighting back tears. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Maybe and hopefully you've never experienced something as extreme or as devastating as what she was going through. But we've all experienced change, and so many times we can hold too tightly to the way things were. Instead of adjusting to the new, we hold our feet to the fire anyway. We want to push through. We want to succeed. The situation changed. The variables changed. The reason we started the thing may have even changed, but we insist on pressing forward anyway. We want to reach the goal or complete the plan we had before that happened. Whether it's a devastating diagnosis or just a call from school that your child is sick, things can come your way every day that will shift your priorities. Sometimes your priorities shift when something more important happens, like a health concern. Sometimes your priorities shift when a new opportunity opens up. Sometimes your priorities shift when God simply calls you. One of the most famous examples of this in the New Testament is when Jesus called his disciples. As Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw 2 brothers. Simon called Peter and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come, follow me, Jesus said, and I will send you out to fish for people. At once they left their nets and followed him. Going on from there, he saw 2 other brothers, James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John. They were in a boat with their father Zebedee, preparing their nets. Jesus called them, and immediately they left the boat and their father and followed him. Matthew 4:18. One moment, Peter, Andrew, James, and John were fishing, completely focused on their occupation and current priority, catching fish. In the next moment, They were following Jesus and completely focused on where he was taking them. This happens to all of us. Your priorities and goals will shift for a variety of reasons. Instead of pressing yourself to continue to complete the thing that was important last week or last month, I want to encourage you to adapt your priorities to the season you're in. Listen to where God is leading you and give yourself grace for the changes you're going through. Jesus called them, and immediately they left and followed him. Matthew 4:21. Reflection and prayer. What are your priorities right now in this season? If you haven't stopped to think about it, do that now. Make a list of what's most important to you. Spend some time in prayer today, asking God to show you what your priorities should be right now and adjust your list as needed. Ask God for the discernment and direction you need, as well as the disciples to follow through. Ask him to help you accept grace when things change and for a willingness to drop everything and follow where he's leading. This is so strange that I read this chapter because things in my personal life are taking a change. My husband has to take a different job, and this was sudden, very, very sudden. Um, and it's going to cause a huge change in our lives. And well, with just like yesterday, for example, as well, I woke up, I had my planner written out for the day's priorities, and suddenly I wake up with no heat, no water, and no electricity. So I couldn't do all of the things that I had needed to do yesterday because I didn't have that. So that changed dramatically. So it's just really strange that I keep coming across these chapters as events are happening in my life. This is proof that God said to me when he did, you will buy that book and you will read it when I tell you to read it. And for some reason, I had the book forever before I finally opened it up and started reading. And that was God telling me, okay, you've got the book, but we're not going to start yet, because he saw the big picture. And he saw when I was going to need to read each chapter. He saw that. Before I even bought the book, he saw that this book was going to be for me and I needed it. And each day that I read the chapter, it was going to unfold things in my life. Very strange. All right, that's going to do it for today. Like I said, I should be back on track tomorrow. Fingers crossed. This is Miss Lottie Daw saying ta-ta and God bless.